The stamp tool, also known as the clone stamp or rubber stamp tool, and the healing brushes come in really handy when we're trying to repair an image. They work differently, but they work in some of the same ways as well. Here we have some spotty grass, and so what I want to do in this situation is actually borrow some pixels from one point in the image and start painting them in another part of the image. I am using the Alt or Option key to tell where I'm painting from, and then take my finger off that and brushing. And you'll notice the X to the right showing me where I'm picking pixels up from as I go along. This is a great technique, not just for filling in grass, but if I have a tree limb cutting, or a power line cutting across part of my image, I may need to go and build some pixels that don't exist. So the trick here, by the way, don't get over aggressive by just going in one area and then staying in that area. The human eye will pick up patterns. There was a really good meme about a certain candidate and the people who showed up to meet him at the airport, where we could actually identify, because of the patterns, at least 10 copies of the actual attendance. So the eye will notice patterns, and so the trick is to constantly change where you're sampling from so that we get a nice unrecognizable fill as we go in and gradually fill the area with some pixels from other parts of the image. Okay, you're using a brush tool, so you can go soft or hard. You can sample from multiple layers onto other layers if you're going to need to move or resize something. Grab my move tool here, and so you can see we can move that around because I sampled to a different layer. We can actually even sample from one document to the next. Okay, that's the stamp tool. Now, similar to the stamp tools, J is the shortcut for our healing tools. The first of these was the patch tool. And so what the patch tool is going to do, let's grab the area that we want patched, and I'm on the wrong layer. Turn that old layer off. And we're going to come over here and we're going to grab some pixels. Doesn't work as well. What it actually is doing is trying to blend in pixels from one place to another. You'll notice the colors changed and the contrast changed a little, but it didn't give us the nice full fill-in that we needed. Where the healing tools come in.
So when you first open Photoshop, you're going to want to do, you're going to see something about like this.
Sorry about that. I uploaded
recent Photoshop images there.
Started to
brushes are always the choice you want to be doing. Usually, you're going to be doing one of a couple things. You may be
Sorry about that. Love when things start happening in the background. Okay, where the healing brushes come in handy is we have the patch tool. I'm actually going to come over here to show the patch tool. The patch tool, we're going to grab an area and we're going to say blend in pixels from over here. And you'll notice that we ended up not replacing those pixels, but blending them in so that we end up with a much smoother transition within our document. Again, it's evaluating both the pixels we're bringing over and the existing pixels to try to smooth them together to give us a nice clean look. And I could spend all day on this, and I'll try not to. So I'm just grabbing a selection and dragging it over a clean area so that I get a nice smooth feel. Similar to that is our healing brush tool. I'm going to hold the Option key. This works similar to the stamp tool. We're going to sample some pixels from here, and we're going to blend them in over here. This is another way to do that. The reason I chose the patch tool a minute ago was because I had very large areas of clean space and very large areas to correct all at the same time. And so we can come in with our patch tool and we can kind of, our healing brush tool, sorry, and we can work from clean areas to start filling in some areas that aren't so clean, or we can use the patch tool to grab an area and to clean it up. After we did that, we also have the spot healing brush tool, and this is truthfully how I start off a lot of images. I zoom in 100% usually. Let's go double click my hand tool to do that, or my eyeglass tool to it. And I usually start on one corner and work across with my spot healing tool, looking for things that maybe aren't complementary to a picture or take my eyes off. And I just click, and what it's doing, it's analyzing the pixels surrounding the brush stroke in order to try to figure out what really belongs there. It's a great way to get rid of, for instance, little noise in your image, or in this case, somebody who has some blackheads or acne, or a stray eyelash sometimes. So it works really well to do that. I do that a lot on my images. Be a little bit careful if somebody has a something you would consider an imperfection on their face, a mole or a burn or something like that. That's now become part of who they are. They may not appreciate you removing it from the image. Either discuss it with your client or tone it down. So if, for instance, I really didn't mean to make that go completely away, I can always go back here to Edit, Fade Spot Healing Brush, and let it still be there a little bit. Notice I'm working right here. It's still there. I just faded it back so it wasn't as prominent. There's one judge in town who I do both her family pictures and her headshots, and how I ended up with that is she does have a rather large burn from when she was a teenager on her face, and because I did not try to hide it or cover it up, I just de-emphasized it, although she doesn't know that I did. She thinks I'm a great photographer because it's still there, which we all know it's supposed to be, but it's not drawing a lot of attention. And so you'll find that clients sometimes have made those otherwise imperfections part of who we are, and we will insult them if we start removing things that we should not remove. And so just moving along. By the way, the distance that you make your brush stroke will determine how far out we're sampling images, and so you a lot of times will start to notice some softening of texture if you make your brush strokes too big with this tool. Try to make it just a little bit, just big enough for the area you're working on. So we can do a little before and after here, looking at our history palette. This is where I am now. This is where I was just a little bit ago. Because I opened the image and pasted, I did not save the whole thing. But let's see if it's, no, it's not still up. Yes, it is. That's what we started out with, if you remember just a second ago. And in just a minute or two, we were able to clean this all up. I'd probably still need to go in and grab my stamp tool if I wanted to try to clean this up, where the person who had edited this before actually cut over the face and neck a little bit so that I couldn't do what I'm doing here, which is repurposing this image for my own purposes. All right, I'd probably use a selection right across here with a lasso or pen tool, and then fill it in so that I got a nice smooth neck. Okay, so that is the patch tool and the healing brushes within Photoshop.